Now, there are a lot of strange things that happen on the internet every single day, but we officially reached a point where the policies of a video game are crossing over into real-life government elections. Right now, the city of Los Angeles is holding its primary election for a new mayor, which is a very serious political event involving a city with millions of residents. Now, I know that most of you aren't into this political stuff, but it's actually pretty interesting to consider that one of the candidates running for the position is an active Roblox YouTuber who decided to use his official government campaign platform to protest the recent age verification updates that the company forced onto the player base. The candidate in question is a man named Nelson Chang who goes by the username EvilHeartE online. He's a recent graduate from the University of California, Berkeley, and he managed to get his name on the official election ballot to run for mayor of Los Angeles. What makes this situation so surreal is not only the fact that a literal Roblox content creator is trying to ruin a political office, but rather the way he chose to introduce himself to the voters. When candidates run for office, they usually provide a professional background statement that gets published for the public to read so voters know what their experience is. In his official statement, he openly declares his profession as a Roblox YouTuber who spends his time playing games with a team of friends and his fans. He did not try to pretend to be a traditional politician like most of the corporate ones always do, but instead, he leaned entirely into his identity as a content creator on the platform. It takes a lot of effort to officially file paperwork and get approved for a major city election, so the fact that he went through that entire legal process just to identify himself as a Roblox player shows how seriously he's taking this message. While seeing a gaming channel owner on a government ballot is definitely unusual, the real reason the story is catching so much attention is because of what he included in his main campaign message. He called it the age verification requirements that the platform introduced limit many features, and stated that these requirements force the system to scan the faces of minors, which he officially described as an infiltration of privacy. This means that a candidate running to govern one of the largest cities in the United States is actively campaigning against the digital privacy terms of a video game company. The fact that a facial scanning update is being brought up in a political race shows just how controversial that specific feature has become over the last few months. Players have been complaining about the ID verification system for a long time because the idea of a gaming corporation holding onto biometric data makes a lot of people uncomfortable, and so uncomfortable that eventually prompted someone like this guy to run for office for this particular reason. To make the situation even more bizarre, Nelson Chang went up a step further and directly name-dropped one of the biggest creators on the platform to back up his argument. In the official campaign document, he wrote that he and other popular YouTubers such as Craigcraft do not agree with the new verification requirements. Using another content creator's name in a government election document is something you rarely ever see, especially when it involves someone who mainly makes videos about LEGO games. The news of this political shout-out eventually made his way back to Craigcraft, who ended up responding to the situation on Twitter, talking about the fact that he never even expected to be mentioned during a political campaign. It is a very strange interaction because a whole niche of internet gaming commentary and local government politics usually never cross paths like this, and yet here we have a major content creator reacting to his name being used in a real election platform. What we're looking at right now is a perfect example of how pressure the community has become with corporate decisions that ignore the actual users. When a multi-billion-dollar corporation decides to implement policies that require users to scan their faces, it inevitably becomes a real-world privacy debate, and people do not want to feel like they're being monitored by an out-of-touch policy team. The executives are pushing updates that the community actively protests, and they do it under the excuse of platform safety, but when you look at how players actually react, it is obvious that they feel less safe handing their data over to a corporation than they did before the updates rolled out. By making this issue a core part of his political platform, Nelson Chang essentially forced the public to acknowledge that the digital privacy of younger users is a topic worth taking seriously. Even if he does not end up winning the election, which is unfortunately pretty obvious since most of LA does not even care about Roblox as one of their main issues, the fact that he uses time in the spotlight to criticize his corporate policies means that the message reaches an audience far outside the usual gaming space, and it raises a lot of questions about how the company is going to handle future updates regarding user privacy and safety. The executives always claim that these features are necessary for platform security, but they're clearly losing the trust of the community if content creators are willing to take an issue to a government level. The constant push for more tracking and more verification is alienating the exact people who keep the website running every single day, so we will have to wait and see if the executives actually pay attention to this level of criticism moving forward. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.